Hey, would you happen to have any CD players lying around? That's a new one. No, but why do you want a CD player? I just wanted to listen to some video game music. Do you even own a video game OST album? No. Then why are you asking for a CD player? Hey, I'm just thinking long term here. If I knew you had one, I would just get as many as I'd want, you know? What is this new fascination towards them? Don't you know, they're cool and you can collect them. You are right about that, but now that I think about it, they are a pretty underrated collectible for video games, huh? Yeah, wait, don't tell me. Yup, this is my video now. Darn it, I should have seen this coming. I've talked about video game music quite a lot in this channel now, but this topic I really haven't dived into. Video game music can be listened to in many different ways, official or unofficial. But focusing on the official ways, you have music streaming services that the publisher puts their music on, jukeboxes in-game, and probably the best option, an album. Although there are times where the album could be distributed digitally, I'm mostly referring to physical music albums. This would typically be the highest quality version of a song you can possibly hear from video games, especially for older ones. There are times where the song wouldn't have a loop fade out, but rather, a proper end. That isn't very typical for video game music as they would have a loop in mind. So because of that, it almost gives the song an entirely different vibe to it. If you've ever heard Mario Kart 8's soundtrack, specifically Dolphin Shoals, you would hear an entire part to the song that you'd never hear in game. The reason is because during the race, there wouldn't be enough time for that part to come on. And even if you wait for it, the developers cut it down to mainly loop rather than go into the extended part. Many Sonic games with their soundtrack have proper ends to their songs, and some Persona games have songs that end too. There are also some extra songs included in some of these albums. Persona did it with its third and fourth games, remixing the aria of the Soul song. Alongside that, the opening songs would typically have a full version too. Even Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden have extra tracks you wouldn't hear in game. As far as I'm aware though, Persona 5 doesn't have any extra songs in its album. One thing I love about video game music albums is their boxes. As I said, I'm mainly referring to physical albums in this video. These boxes look so great, even better than the game's box in some cases. They give extended visuals of the game you wouldn't typically see. Some of my favorite boxes include Sonic R's, any of the Katamari ones including the most recent one, Persona Q1's, and both Mario Galaxy covers. In general, album covers would have a more chilling vibe to it compared to the normal game's box art. That's because they aren't selling you on the game, but rather the music experience. However, it feels like that magic these past games had for their covers is fading. Nowadays, we basically get the normal box art with a soundtrack plastered on it or something. It's not completely gone though. Shout out to Nintendo for keeping that alive. I mean, Bandai does it with their games too. You literally just mentioned Katamari a second ago. Then props to them too. But Capcom also does it too. Okay, I get it. I wasn't entirely right. Can I move on now? Yes. The only criticism I would give video game music albums is the lack of content. At least in some of them. Believe it or not, there are actually many albums that simply don't include every song in that game. I'm not really sure the reason for this, but maybe it's because the song is too short to put in it, or maybe some copyright reasons. But something I really wish all of them would include is instrumental versions of songs with vocals. For example, the Katamari series typically would have an in-game loop. In that loop, there would be an instrumental version of some songs to keep the song less tedious to listen to on repeat. However, up until very recently, you could never hear that instrumental version apart from that one in-game loop. Not even the jukebox would include it. But there are some songs that just never have an instrumental version, which is why I want an instrumental version to be included in these albums. Even Splatoon music has some really great bangers that I would wish had an instrumental version. Whatever the case, I do think video game albums are really cool for the most part. Too bad they're kind of hard to come across if you're anywhere that isn't Japan. I knew I could count on you to see the appeal of these things. We are the same person after all. Yeah, well, there are times where we are in disagreement. Well, I may not have a CD player, but maybe we should look into getting one. Then I'll go look for one now. Slow down there. Why don't you look for the video game album and I can look for the CD player, okay?